Hey guys, welcome. Hey guys, welcome to day one of Vlogmas. Today we're gonna do a recap of Vampironica. It's one of the other lesser known series in the Archie horror series. It's Vlogmas, so yeah, that is 25 days of videos. I'm gonna try. I'm not making no promises, but I'm gonna try. In the comments, keep me accountable. We're gonna do reaction videos. We're gonna be reacting to some old Sailor Moon videos. We're gonna be doing some more comic book videos. We're going to be doing video essays on cool stuff, not like, philosophical stuff. This is the most wonderful time of the year. It's Vlogmas. I want the videos to be light, fun, comic booky, pop culture, just random shit. So, yeah. Be prepared for a lot of content. Not too many vlogs because y'all don't want to really see that from me because, honey, I'm a basic ass fat bitch. Let me tell you. Yeah, so welcome to Vlogmas. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you who are watching me right now, and because you guys do not have to do that. So the fact that you guys are doing this, thank you, because, honey, the difference a year makes. Now, I talk enough, so let's get into the video. Here we are, Vlogmas Day 1. Part 2 coming tomorrow. Do Vampironica because this is fun. This is a little campy. It's really not too deep, and it's a very straight to the point book, and I just like it. Okay, after reading The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the comic book and seeing the art by Robert Hack, all the other art in the Archie comic horror genre is so lackluster. Ugh. So as usual, we start off at a party. Have you noticed like when Riverdale the TV show started and like any comic, every good like horror story or supernatural story always starts off at like a teen party. And of course it's Cheryl Blossom, and Cheryl Blossom always got to be the center of attention. So she's like, honey, body shots anyone. It's like, girl, we get it, Cheryl. You want to be the main character. So while Cheryl's offering other people body shots, nobody's really answering her except somebody behind her is like, I'll take a body shot off of you. And it's a vampire. Yes, we are starting off the story with a bang. He's like, do you have a Bloody Mary? And that bitch is like, no. Honey, he's like, but you will. And then it's like, here we go with the close-ups to the teeth again. Now, I'm not one to talk about teeth because, yeah, my teeth do look like a picket fence. However, it's like, geez Louise. And, of course, Cheryl's doing what she needs to do. So she's telling them to stay back because, demonic supernatural creatures always listens to boundaries. But then Veronica jumps in and she starts hitting them with the ooh-wop-de-woos because Veronica has never been one to play with. And especially not with her money. Like, y'all remember in Riverdale when she had, like, a speakeasy and she was a teenager? I was like, a speakeasy? And what? But that boy's like, honey, no, I throw hands too. Give and you shall receive. So pretty much as Veronica is fighting this boy in the middle of Cheryl Blossom's party where everybody's at, Veronica's pretty much telling the boy like, honey, I heard you're vegan, but here's the gag. I got a steak for you. That made me cringe as soon as I said it. I regret it. But just before she can make him into a shish kebab, so this other boy, who looks very Teen Wolfish, comes attacking, but he's a vampire. Because this is a vampire story. Hence the word Vampironica. And they body slam Veronica backwards into the pool. But she got something for that. And of course, like most of these, everybody's just standing around watching in awe and in horror. Me? Yeah, I would watch for probably like 2 seconds, then the fear would set it, and I would be running. Cause this could go left at any time. But then again, I'm a scary ass bitch, so never expect heroics out of me. And then the water slowly begins to turn colors. Emerging from below, under the sea, she is giving Ariel a run for her money in this scene. Cheryl is like, honey, this girl just took my HBIC status. Part 2 in the comment. Part 2 of how Veronica Lodge got turned into a vampire. But after Veronica slayed those 2 other vampires, she's getting out the pool and she's like, hey Cheryl, cool party. And she's like, honey, the name is not Veronica anymore. It is V Nasty. Actually, she didn't say nothing of the sort. We need to show you guys how she became a vampire. So let's rewind 3 days, okay? And as always, we're at cheerleader practice because it always happens with those cheerleaders. They all vie for Archie's attention, which, let's be real. Can we be honest? Archie is not all that. Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, he is very much so. I would give him a 5.5 or a 6.5, and that's being nice. And that's coming from a Wisconsin too. But anyway, so Betty asks Veronica if she doesn't mind if she borrows Archie and they go out on a date tonight. So you know Veronica, she's too cool. So she's like, it's fine. Because one thing about Veronica, she refused to get her pride cracked. So she's like, Reggie, come over here. You know, Reggie, he thirsty. He ain't shit in any iteration he's in. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it, you know. So, and let's be real, honey. Betty and Veronica fighting over Archie, honey, that is lame bitch energy. Y'all are too pretty for him. And Veronica's there with Reggie, and she's like, damn, now I have to go on a date with him. And she has to pretend like she's happy for Betty, but really, we know. She's like, ugh, that... And Reggie think he came up on a leg, no pun intended. So he's like, my parents are out of town for the week, so, honey, let's... And Veronica, you know, Veronica's like, honey... Don't flatter yourself. Pick me up at this time. I'll be waiting. Don't be late. So later that evening, Veronica's finishing up getting ready. And she starts getting these texts from Reggie. And look what he's saying. He's like, on my way, babe. First of all, using babe with me. Red flag number 1. Bringing the jag. What is this? American Psycho? Just past Archie and his rust bucket on wheels. Now, I like a shady ass guy though. Because one thing I like about a shady ass person I'm dating, honey, in the words of Lil' Kim, I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. But Veronica, as we see, she's thinking about Archie and Betty, and she's like, honey, we need to make an alternate reality where they make a comic book where Archie, Betty, and Veronica are sister wives, because I'm tired of this love triangle. So now Veronica's going downstairs to leave, and she looks at them like, aww. And she's going to tell her dad that she's gonna be back a while, but she hears a thump. And honey, the only time you should hear a thump in a mansion is when your maid is dropping your trays off in front of you. And see, Veronica's like, honey, when I call out my dad, he always calls. Honey, that makes one of us. And she goes into the great room and she finds a tragedy. Her bank 1 and bank 2, honey, they are out like a light, honey. And you know, Veronica's worried because that's her money. I mean, her parent. And she sees 2 holes in his neck. And out of darkness, guess who appears behind her, ready to attack? She turns around and there's a dark, shadowy man behind her. And he's like, honey, don't worry. You about to join your old daddy and your mama. And here we go with these teeth again. And once again, I'm just covering up the graphic parts just in case, because y'all know how fucking TikTok is. This vampire goes to take a bite out of crime. He's like, honey, I like this fancy meat. She's like, 1 thing for certain, 2 things for show. Honey, I'm not going down without a fight. And she runs bloody out the door and into her car. Because, see, this is what I'm talking about. Because usually in these type of stories, they run upstairs. Run out the door. I don't know where she got her keys from, but she's like, honey, beep, bop, ba, whoop, boop. And you know what, Veronica, they just got to show us that she got that push to start. But you know, it's not that easy to get away from vampires. I don't care how much of a sports car, a luxury car you got. Honey, them undead powers are on another level. Hello, somebody. And he appears in front of her. But she's like, honey, I'm putting pedal to the motherfucking metal. I don't got time for the bullshit. And she gets to cracking like a bad back. And he starts flying over the windshield. And she is gone. However, you know when you celebrate a victory too soon? Yeah, this is that moment. Guess who's coming up the fucking driveway? Reggie. Because remember, she's on a date with Reggie to make Archie and them jealous, even though they don't give a fuck. Girl. And you know, Reggie's reckless, so they about to collide. I guess this is not the first kiss that they thought they were going to have tonight. And boom, there you have it. And that sends Veronica go flying out the window, and then Reggie's airbag explodes. And it's like all this just to save your pride and make Archie jealous. Veronica, was it worth it? Because you put your thing down, flipped it, and reversed it, and you're in your driveway, splattered all over the place. But she gets up, and she checks on Reggie. When she sees Reggie's blood, something in her awakens. Because remember, y'all, she was bitten earlier. And she's like, honey, mama had a long day, and mama's hungry. Honey, them veneers is excellent. And with his fresh blood spilling out because he was in a car accident like her, she's just a vampire now. She wants to attack and suck his... But Veronica has parts of her humanity still, so she's trying to fight the feeling off. And runs off into the woods just to leave Reggie's body to bleed to death. Like, I'm like, girl, what is you doing? And she sees some of the glass from the windshield lodged in her arm, and she knows something supernatural has transpired within herself because as it's bleeding, she begins to heal just as fast as she was injured. And she's like, oh shit, something is going on. Meanwhile, back at the car crash that Veronica recklessly just left Reggie, this guy offers him help. Part 4 of how Veronica Lodge turned into a vampire. Okay, so after Veronica started healing at a rapid pace, she knows, honey, I'm supernatural now. I am pretty much a vampire. So she's going back to the scene of the crime where she left Reggie's body. But Reggie ain't shit, so I don't really mind that. But it's like, girl, you left him in the midst of all that chaos. So now she want to be Captain Save-A-Ho and go back and see what's going on with him. But honey, she goes back to the scene of the crime where she had the car accident and hit Reggie, and he's gone. Everything's gone, like it was just a figment of her imagination. So Veronica's like, I gotta go get help. I gotta go find Archie. What the hell is Archie gonna do? I'm so sick of them relying on Archie. Like, Archie ain't shit. But watching her from the shadows is the guy who turned her. And see, she's like, please be home, Archie. And I'm just thinking in my head, see, the reason why Archie has an inflated sense of self-worth. Because anytime something goes wrong in Riverdale, they go to Archie. And I know he's the main character, blase. However, I'm just like, honey, what is he gonna do? But she gets to his house and she sees he's watching a B-movie classic. You know, one of those 1950 cheesy vampire movies with and honestly, what are the odds of them actually watching a vampire flick? But as she's peeking in, she sees Betty pretending to be scared so she can get closer to Archie. And Betty kisses Archie. Because she's like, honey, I'm going to make my move. And they're like all romantic. Let me cover that up just in case because you know how TikTok will be. And Veronica taps against the window and she runs away before they realize, oh, honey, she's a peeping Tom. And Veronica's gone in the wind of the night because she's like, honey, she is broken down and tired. Honey, she is over the day. She got turned into a vampire. Her parents got attacked. She killed pretty much Reggie. And now she saw her best friend kissing her boyfriend with that little throuple. So she goes to the school. And also, here's a side note. Why in these movies they always go back to school? Half the time in real life, school brings most of us our problems. We want to get out of school. We don't go back to school when we're in the midst of chaos. And she sleeps the night away in the boiler room. Okay. The next morning, of course, local nerd Dilton Doyley, he's there. He's returning some science equipment. And he sees Veronica in the basement crying. And he goes to see what's wrong. Because he's a nice guy. You know, he's the archetype of a nerd. And he's just wondering, like, honey, why is the girl to have a mansion in the basement of the school? And he goes to extend a welcoming hand. But Veronica's like, honey, mama had a long night. Mama had a long night, honey. But you know, Dilton's a nerd, so he's really into like the science fiction, supernatural. They know about all the stuff. The nerds are always the best type of characters. They are always the top tier characters over the stereotype popular kid. They usually have more depth than the other. Because the main characters be as shallow as a kiddie pool. So he offers Veronica to help her. However, since Veronica's a vampire, she realizes she's losing her strength because she doesn't have blood. So she passes and she wakes up in Dilton's laboratory. So Veronica wakes up in Dilton's laboratory because y'all know Dilton's a nerd. So he's like trying to nurse Veronica back to health because what is he gonna do? Take her to the local hospital? Hey, a vampire bit my friend. Can you help her? But he pretty much tells Veronica, honey, I know exactly what you are. You are a vampire. Honey, I've read too many comic books, read too many books, watched too many movies not to know what you are. And see, Dilton is wise. He's like, if I let you out these chains and give you a little bit of blood, you probably not to make me a vampire because we both don't got time for this bullshit. And she's like, it's a deal, and she takes the blood and begins to drink it. So now Dilton has questions. He's like, how did you end up becoming a vampire? Who bit you? And Veronica's like, it was one of Daddy's clients. Honey, why is Hiram, even in a TV show, Hiram is always getting into some shit? Like, sit your old ass down, boy. So at first, Dilton wants to go to the cops, and Veronica's like, and do what? Tell him a guy sucked the blood out of me and my parents' neck? That'll go over well. So they're like, honey, we need to get some information on this. So Dilton shows her a book from his library. And he begins to tell her like the Romanian folklore about the two different types of vampire. One is a Morai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but y'all can read. And the Morai type of vampire is like somebody who's dead on the inside but not on the outside. Pretty much. That's what he's trying to say up there. But the second time is the Strigoi. And the Strigoi are living vampires, cursed souls to drink the blood of humans to survive. Which the Strigoi are the type we really see in mass media like Twilight, True Blood, and stuff like that. And since the Strigoi, that word's gonna get on my nerves, are more powerful than the Morai, the Strigoi, once they turn somebody, they can have like an army of undead vampires, while the people like Veronica, I guess since she had more of a strong will and she fought back in the middle of him biting her neck, he didn't take full control of her. Like it says here, early Romanian myths sometimes refer to the Strigoi as sorcerers or shapeshifters due to their ability to appear as animals or even other people. And Veronica's like, well, I have a problem. How do we kill them? Because if you kill them, the person who bit you, it takes the curse off of everybody. And Veronica knows the master, because if you kill the master, you lift the curse. So now Veronica is at the point where she knows, honey, if I kill the master, this will lift the curse off of all the other kids and adults that he has bitten in Riverdale and turned into his undead army of vampires. Meanwhile, in the neighboring town of Midvale, the Riverdale Bulldogs, or whatever they are, the football team is facing their opposing team. Our Betty and Archie, they're all worried about Veronica because they haven't seen her all day, and they're like, this is unlike her because they know, Veronica could do anything for attention. But Betty's like, that bitch is probably still salty about our date last night. But honey, it was so much more than that. Archie's like, I need to thank Reggie because he's had my back tonight. His agility and everything was amazing. And he's like, where is he? And look at Archie with the ball fade. Now, he kind of looked good from this angle. But Reggie, he's busy being a hoe, per usual. And he's like slobbing down this. However, he's doing a little bit more than just slobbering. He is taking a bite out of crime out of this poor girl's arteries. Now, a little later, Betty is walking with Jughead, Bughead. I never liked it, Bughead together, to be honest. And she's like, she's really worried about Veronica. And she's like, don't worry. She'll probably make a dramatic entrance at Cheryl's party. And y'all remember in the beginning, in the first part of the story, it takes place at Cheryl's party. And we did a flashback. So now we're getting up to present day. So now Veronica arrives back at her mansion because she's like, I need to get this curse off me. I need to see if my mom and dad are okay. I need to tell them what's going on. So when Veronica and Dilton, they pass each other the walkie-talkie. She's like, I'm going to go in. I'm going to attack. You stay out here just in case the plan goes left. And she puts on her leather gloves because one thing about Veronica, if she gonna kill in style. And she goes into her basement of her house and she's like, honey, I'm definitely not gonna find the cleaning staff down here the way it smells. It smells like all dried up blood. But she finds a casket and she is ready to attack with that symbol of the Order of the Dragon. So she's like, honey, something's going on down here. Then arms come up from under the earth and she know all hell is about to break loose. Meanwhile, outside, words come back to me. Meanwhile, outside, while Dilton is keeping watch, guess who's pulling up? Motherfucking Justin Gingerlake, aka Archie Andrews. Girl with his happy-go-lucky ass, thinking life ain't nothing but a breeze. And Dilton knows this shit is about to get realer sooner than later. And Archie walks up to the door, and meanwhile, Dilton's trying to warn him. He's like, psst, Archie, come over here. Don't knock on the door yet. You're gonna ruin everything. Per usual, Justin Gingerlake and Veronica's vampire-ass daddy answers the door. He's like, come on in. And Veronica realizes they got a much bigger problem because she's coming upstairs and sees her dad had the love of her life. Oh, shit. Here we go.